Oh, man. So they're going to have a nice moment to honor John Dutton, man. Rest in peace. Bang! I got 40, I got 30, I got 50, I got 60, I got... Shut the fuck up!
Why?
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Yellowstone. This one's going to be doing my next review for the second half of Season 5. This is now for the penultimate episode. This one is titled, Give the World Away, Episode 13. So, this is a penultimate, guys, apparently. This is apparently a penultimate episode where we sell horses, we talk about a plan, but we don't discuss it until the last, minute of the episode. We get drunk with Teeter, and that's about it. That's about it. I really don't know how to talk about this episode. Listen, man, I've been watching this show for a good few years. I got caught up back in 2020. I just don't know how they're supposed to say that this is a series penultimate. I really don't. To summarize this episode, because, you know, it's funny, you don't even need a deep dive information. This is literally how the episode goes. They need the horses to be sold for the ranch to keep their economy up so that they can keep the ranch a bit longer. So they're selling these horses. Problem is, you got this dipshit named Travis, which has been around the entire show. He's this show-off, smug prick that thinks he's better than everybody else, but he's Rip's friend, so Beth deals with him. And I think for about half the episode, they're, messing around in a jacuzzi. He's, partying with these girls, and he's, goofing off and playing strip poker with Beth, and he tricks her, and he's fucking around with her, and then he's like, oh, just by the way, yeah, no, you didn't even need to play strip poker. I'll go over to your house tomorrow, and we'll get this whole thing done. I'm like, okay. I just wasted my time. But anyway, so she leaves. That whole sequence with Travis, that whole thing at his house, did not need to be there. Was absolute filler. I didn't care about it. I was like, can we move on? This is ridiculous. I might have had some high patience if this was a normal episode. But for a penultimate episode, especially when I saw this episode was an hour long, I was like, whoa, holy shit, okay, an hour long, this is gonna be good, this is gonna be really good. I see why it's an hour long. They fluffed out 15, 20 other minutes to frickin' have him in his frickin' jacuzzi with his frickin' bikini girls. I'm like, what the hell are we doing right now? Seriously.
Yeah, that's bull crap.
I don't know. Lame as shit, can't lie. So, as if I wasn't losing my patience well enough, then they have the whole rest of the episode basically be about these horses that they're selling, which is sad because obviously, at that point, what are you going to do on the ranch? That's kind of like their bread and butter. What are they going to do? What are they going to work on? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's kind of at a loss, And speaking of everybody at a loss, Teeter in this episode did break my heart quite a bit. This is one thing that I did enjoy is seeing Teeter and Beth going to this bar and, picking up guys and stuff. And Beth always, puts them back in their place and always does that, and she lets Teeter have a crack at it, I like that, because she lost her father and then Teeter lost, her boyfriend. So getting to see them, kind of have a moment like that, fine. That's totally fine. I like that, And then, I'm trying to think of stuff to say. This episode was so empty. You had John Dutton, a quick speech about him. That was so funny to me, though, because it's you had this speech about John Dutton, all this moving stuff that he did and all this moving stuff. And then they're like, okay, now Colby and his moment. I get it. They have to talk about both of them because they died. But I'm just like, oh, my God, you got to go from John Dutton to some guy that we barely even fucking knew. I was like, oh, my God. I never cared about Colby. As I said in last week's review, I never cared about him. I care about what he means to Teeter because I like Teeter a lot. I never cared about Colby. Am I the only one? I never gave a shit, And his death was even more stupid on top of that. So I was like, okay, who cares? But I found it funny, though, on a flip side, because they're like, okay, let's remember John Dutton. Let's remember Colby. Let's have a moment of silence. And then you just hear, 40, 50, I got 60, what the fuck is going on? I know that's what they're doing. I know they're selling the horses and they're, putting them up and stuff, and you got them, spewing the prices out. But I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just sitting here, trying to enjoy this moment, oh, man. Oh yeah, John, man, I miss you, man. And then I just hear in the back of my head, I'm like, bum, blah, 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 you got 40, you got 50, you got 60, you got like, what the fuck is going on? I don't know. That part just like threw me right off. But anyway, then you got Casey that brings up this great idea he has. He's had this idea the entire episode.
Hey, man!
What?
Where'd Michael?
He's asleep.
Well, get him up. I got an idea. Get him up!
Okay, why don't...
Michael!
What is going on?
I got an idea!
Which is basically they got to sell the property. He talks about Beth's car as an example, and it kind of took a second even for me to click, like, with the whole thing at first. He's like, okay, like, you know, if I bought your car for $1 and then I, you know, sold it off and stuff like that, what would happen, right? And he kind of lets her sit there for a minute and kind of, you know, think about it. And then he goes up to him, she goes up to him, and she's like, oh, yeah, you know, so, like, you know, is that what you're saying? And he's like, yeah, that's what we got to do. And she's like, you're smarter than you look, brother. And then she kisses him, and then you got friggin' like Tate in the background. And he's just like, well, that doesn't mean much, you know. But anyway, I like it. They boot up the Yellowstone theme at the end. You know, you kind of finally start feeling like you're getting to some kind of conclusion at the end, you know. And that's the plan now for the next episode. We got one episode left, people. One episode left. I hope to God this is a lengthy episode because we didn't do anything. Like we look, the last 5 minutes was cool. I liked the Teeter and Beth stuff, but like it really does not feel like we only have one episode left. It really doesn't. I didn't hate this episode. Like, I liked some things, but there were other things I was like, okay, like, what are we doing right now? You know what I mean? So, for that all to say, I'll leave a rating at a 5. I'm gonna go middle ground. I'm sorry. Like, some things I liked, but there was a lot of things I was like, okay. And you know why I rank it so low, okay? This is why I rank it so low. This is your second last episode, and we're messing around with horses, having parties, jumping in jacuzzis, and, you know, picking up guys at bars. Listen, like, it's not even bad stuff, but, well, actually, the Travis plot in the early half was bad. I was getting pissed off at that. That was annoying as hell. But I just don't understand how this is supposed to make me excited for the next episode. The only thing I got excited for was the scene with Casey and Beth at the end. That was kind of like, oh, shit. Like, okay, you know? But before that, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I did, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. That's my thoughts on this week's episode. It's not, like, the worst episode, but it's also not a great episode. I'll put it that way. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm pulling for it, Yellowstone. Give me a good final episode. Like, I came back to review this half. I decided to review these episodes. I hope that we all, as Yellowstone fans, can have some kind of conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, some kind of good conclusion. Because I don't know. It feels like we're just going to be riding around all friggin' next episode. Like, I don't know. Give me a real character-driven, massive, just, you know, emotional conclusion to this show. Give that. Because what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. I'll be back next week. The series finale. I'll be back for it, and we'll kind of collectively give our thoughts on this whole thing. So, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos for Yellowstone. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Views Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Yellowstone. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.